Well, Matthew, firstly, congratulations, obviously winning the Merit League on Saturday, 4-1 win over Barnet. Let's address the game first, because the pressure's always on at this time of the year. Were you pleased with the boys' application?
Yeah, we played okay. We've definitely played better this season, but the boys knew what was on the line, obviously, and we were comfortable in our win. We had started off the game really well, went 1-0 up, and then had multiple chances to go even further ahead, and they've got a penalty midway through the first half. We adjusted and did really well. The boys reacted well, and we went 2-1 up at half time, and second half was really comfortable, and obviously with what was on the game, as the boys knew, as I keep saying, that they saw the game out really well and really comfortably.
What was it like as a manager on the sidelines in that kind of environment? You obviously want the team to win, but ultimately you're waiting on a result elsewhere. It took a little while to come through as well. Is it hard to sort of retain focus, or is that part of the learning process?
Yeah, well, you're learning, definitely, but no, it was just all about us at the weekend. We just had to do our job and made sure we won the game. We knew Northampton had a tough game against a good Wimbledon side, who are one of the better teams we've played this season in the league, so we knew that would be tough for them, and it panned out perfectly for us. Obviously, to win the game with to win the league with one game to go is a really good achievement from the players, and obviously they were very, very happy about it. Yeah.
Speaking to Archie, he said it was a little bit weird because obviously you had some people in the dressing room who were getting ready and getting changed and what have you, because you were trying to fight to find the result.
Yeah, exactly. All the staff were outside just trying to speak to different people to find out what the result was, and once it was confirmed, we went in and solved the boys, and obviously, as you can imagine, they were ecstatic, and it's a really big achievement for them, so they deserve this moment. They've worked really hard so far this season.
You mentioned it on and off the season in terms of the characteristics you need to be a successful side, and off the pitch they seem to have a good team unity together, and obviously that's brought together by Archie as captain, but they are a good group to be around, aren't they? And that's important when you're trying to develop them on the pitch.
Yeah, they are. On the whole, they've been a pleasure to work with this season. Obviously, they're still teenagers that have their moments, but they've been a really good group, a group that tries really hard in training. Their application's always spot on. Same in college, in the classroom, and the way they are around the building. I've always said it's a big thing for me is to be respectful, and they've been brilliant. They've been a pleasure to work with, and now they've got their rewards.
Yeah, and we speak about the support staff in and around them. Obviously, Flynn was an example of that, scoring the goal on Saturday and running to people that obviously helped him get fit, because he's been out for a long part of this season. You're delighted for him as well as everybody else. Exactly.
All the players have actually stood up at some point in this season, because we've had, some of them have been with the first team, which is ultimately the job that we've got in the professional development phase. But it's been a real squad effort, and they should all be really, really proud of the achievement. And I mean every one of them, because every one of them has played their part at some point.
Yeah, I think people might, from the outside, look and think, so what? You've won the league, that's great. But when you actually consider the players eligible that weren't involved, and some of the 16s have obviously stepped up, in terms of keeping that unity off the pitch, but also being able to trust them to go out there and do the job, says a lot about how the partnerships have worked.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's been brilliant to see the 16s, especially in the last 6 weeks, come in, like Kellen Hickinson and Will Van Leer, who've got scholars for next year, and we think really highly of them. And just everybody, sometimes within a youth team, you get a solid 14, 15 players that will go through the first part of the season anyway in the South East Youth Alliance League, playing the majority of the games, but it's not been that way at all. It's been a real squad effort, and we've used up to 21, 22 players, I believe, with a trialist as well, playing quite often recently. So it makes it even sweeter when you do win the league, that you've not sometimes had your so-called or perceived better players available because they're with the first team, and you've still gone on and won it. So this is a really good achievement for everybody.
When you analysed this league campaign, what was the standout result for you? What was the result where you look back and think we dug in there and got the 3 points, or alternatively the best performance that sticks in your mind?
Me and Simon had this conversation the other day, actually. This obviously beating teams in and around you. Wimbledon and Northampton were the two teams that were in and around us for the majority of the season, and we beat Wimbledon at home, drew with them away, beat Northampton at home, obviously lost to them away. So good results, good strong performances, barring the Northampton defeat there, and we were 3-1 up against Gillingham earlier on in the season, and before we know it, with 10 minutes to go, we're 4-3 down, just to lack of concentration and thinking that the game was over. And we managed to get a point that day. Archie scored a late penalty, and little points like that do make a difference.
Yeah, and I say, when you're in a league campaign and going for any kind of title, consistency and performance is always important. It's really challenging as a youth team manager to get that because of the age they are. So sometimes with consistency, you have to grind out results and use that different type of performance to get over the line.
Yeah, we've done that, to be honest, but I think the one thing that they've had from everybody within the department and everyone in the academy full time especially is that a consistent message of how we want to play. It's never changed, even if we have had defeats or bad defeats or going through phases where we're not playing probably to our potential. There's been a consistent message of the way we want the youth teams to play, and we want all the academy teams to play. And again, it has to relate to the first team as well. So that's the one thing that we've strived for, is that consistent message, and I think that's helped the lads.
Yeah, the person who sits next to you in the dugout, the person who sits next to you in the car, the person who sits next to you in the office. Has it been an enjoyment working together and getting the best out of this group? I mean, every manager always says the assistant does all the real nasty side of coaching. Has it been a good relationship for you two working together in this environment?
Yeah, it's been a great experience for us. We're still young in coaching terms, so learning all the time and to have done it together. I believe it's the first time the academy's won the league, which is a great achievement. But it's not just me inside; it's all the academy staff in the background as well that have really done some good work, really good work. And the academy's in a great place. But to do it with Si is brilliant, and to see him and the way he's developed since he come in just over a year ago now, he's thriving, he's enjoying it, and he's turning into a really good coach. So it's really good.
Yeah, and every manager says nothing compares to playing, but I guess you get a little bit of satisfaction out of putting a trophy in the cabinet, because that's ultimately what management is about, isn't it? Developing players and getting the best out of them. Do you have that sense of pride and an achievement of doing this, particularly here at this club? Yeah,
you definitely get a sense of achievement. We've been professional footballers for the majority of our lives, so winning's always going to be a habit that we want to keep, and that's what we try to install into the boys. Yes, development's huge and it's the biggest factor in our roles and to get them into the first team, but we still want to win games, and I think we've drilled that into the lads on a consistent basis, and to get a league win in the South East Youth Alliance League is a really big achievement, and one that me and Simon are really proud of.
Of course, the highs of winning a league, and now for a lot of these lads it's about the next phase of their journey, and you can go up and down, can't you, as a coach, as a player, all that kind of stuff. Is it about keeping the players sort of focused on whatever their future holds? Is it about trying to improve them as players and see where they go?
Exactly that. And the majority of the second years now, after the 25th, we'll go out on loan, just like we did last year, and we'll prepare a team in the Merit League to hopefully go and compete in the South East Youth Alliance League next season. That's the way we did it last year, and we think it worked, and that's what we'll do against this year. So it'll be 16s, Will Lakin, Kellen Higginson, Will Van Leer, and our first year's group, who will be second years next year, who we think a lot of. We think they're a really good, strong group. So we've got to make sure that the 16s complement them to make us a strong youth team next year.